Hi everyone, greetings to everyone. I do not know what time you're watching this video, but it's good afternoon to me. Okay, I just had my lunch. I feel a bit drowsy. At the same time, I feel excited also. Oxymoronic I am now. So today I am back with one of the topics in Unit 1, punctuation. Okay, so today we are going to see the importance of punctuation marks, then a bit about clauses because to understand the working of colon, semicolon, also comma, you need to understand what are clauses, dependent and dependent and independent clauses. You have to learn those. Then we're going to learn punctuation rules of full stop, comma, colon, semicolon, apostrophe. All these. Ready? Shall we go in? Okay. First, importance of proper punctuation. Grandma, let's see. A poorly punctuated sentence is hard to read. Yes, sometimes it's hard to read. To comprehend. We may not get the exact meaning of it. How meaning changes when punctuation marks are put in a wrong manner or missed. Let's see. Example. We have two sentences here. Let's eat, grandma. Let's eat, grandma. First, you see the second sentence. Let's eat, grandma. There, the grandson or granddaughter is talking to grandma. She's asking, come, let's go, let's eat together. But the first sentence, without comma, what does it say? Yes, let's eat, grandma. Can the cook, eat, grandma? Not possible, no. So that's how the meaning changes. Next one, punctuation changes meaning. Another example, I met Aisha's parents, comma is there, Arif and Faiza. Now this sentence means there are two people, Arif and Faiza, and they are Aisha's parents. Now, the same thing without comma. I met Aisha's parents, okay, with extra comma here. I met Aisha's parents, Arif and Faiza. Now what does this mean? There are four people here. Two parents, Arif and Faiza. That's how the meaning changes without comma and with comma. So if you miss punctuation marks or put them in the wrong place, the meaning of the sentence may get changed and the reader may not get the right meaning of that sentence. So that is why putting punctuation marks is important. We finish this one. Now let's go into clauses. And I'm going to bring you a legend. You know who is it if you watch my videos. Yes, it's MSD. We're going to win this cup. IPL 25 CSK. Fine. Let's come into a subject now. So we are going to see clauses, dependent and independent clauses. Now, first thing quickly, what's a clause? Group of words containing subject and predicate. Now, if you have watched my previous videos on sentence structures, there we discussed verb and complements. All this together are called as predicate. If you do not know predicate, let's understand a group of words containing subject and verb for now. If you understand predicate, consider predicate in the place of verb when I say. Otherwise, let's say subject and verb. So, a group of words we have subject and verb, that's a clause. Okay, let's see this one. If I, subject is there, win, verb is there. So, this is a clause. Next one, I, yes, will give. We have auxiliary verb and also main verb. This also has subject and verb. So this is also clause. These two are clauses. Now no doubt in it. Now see. If I win the cup. Take only this one. What does come to your mind? Okay. If you win the cup. What's next? We get the sense, right? So this is incomplete. Something should be there after it. Now you see. I will give dawat to you all. अगर जीतेगी तो दावत दूंगा सब आ जाना एड्रेस मालूम है ना MLR IT आ जाना सब लोग okay I'll give dawat to you all. Now if this sentence is told to you, that gives a complete sense, the meaning is complete there, but the first one is incomplete. So this is until you add something after this one. Now if we add this one here, if I win the cup, I will give dawat to you all. So if this is added here, this whole thing is completed one. So this clause is called as dependent clause because this clause is dependent on this clause to complete its meaning. This is called as independent clause. Yes, you understood clause, you understood dependent clause, you understood independent clause. If you didn't understand, go back and watch it, come back here. Now, let's go into our main rules of punctuation first. We'll talk about full stop. You know about full stop. You have been learning about full stop. It marks the end of a complete sentence. First one. Yes, next one for abbreviations. Example AM, A.M, PM, P.M. Abbreviations use this one. And also ellipses. When you chat, people chat and some people have this habit. Everywhere they put dots. Some people they don't use any grammar at all. Sometimes my students message me without any commas, full stop and all. It takes me some time to make sense of it. No full stop, no comma. I mean, I'm happy to read like that with full stop and commas. It's fine. And I have this habit. I put ellipses. Continuation of thought. I type something in place of full stop, comma. I type dots and then the meaning continues, sentence continues. So there also you can use ellipses. So I don't explain much about examples of, rules of full stop. But this thing is important. One correction while using full stop. Please understand this one. Most of you people do this mistake. Sentence fragments. Before the sentence even completes, you put full stop there. When Shoaib found the cap, full stop, he returned it to Vijaya. Now, when Shoaib found the cap, okay, what? He found the cap. When he found, what happened? Something is there after it, but still you end there with full stop. Do not do this one. When Shoaib found the cap, comma, he returned it to Vijaya. This is the right one. Next one, a single word can have a full stop. Yes. Hello. We discussed sentence structures. There we had imperative sentences. There we discussed single word can be a sentence. Here, hello. Yes. It's greeting. Stop. It's command. Stop. Single word, a sentence. These can also have full stop. These are full stop. Okay. Now let's go into comma. Comma. What do we do with comma? See, it's on the bed. It's talking. It's expressing its problems with doctor there. Doctor is prescribing. And what is the problem being said by comma there? I constantly feel out of place. Why does it feel like that? Because it is we who put it out of place. Now let us learn how to put it in its place rightly. Okay. Comma is used to separate items in a list. You know this one? Apples, bananas or pears. And remember, generally when we have list, a group of items, before the last word, we put and or are. And or. Okay. Before that, should we put a comma or not? We can put a comma there. We can put. Okay. This is one rule. Next one. Joins independent clauses with conjunctions. Okay. Earlier we discussed dependent clause, independent clause. So generally, we can combine two independent clauses in a single sentence. And when you do that, you use conjunctions like and, or, but, as. We use this. Now, before this conjunction, always a comma should be there. See, Vijaya left her cap on the field. This is independent clause. Now, it is missing. This is another independent clause. We want to put them together. So, conjunction and is used. So, before that, a comma is there. So, whenever you join two independent clauses with a conjunction, before the conjunction, always comma should be there. Okay. Now, used after dependent clause. Now, if you are joining an independent clause and dependent clause. Okay, independent and dependent clause. Okay, sorry. We'll come to this one. Dependent clause and independent clause. If you are combining these two, dependent and independent, always after dependent clause, comma should be there. See, upon finding her cap missing. Okay, she found her cap missing. Upon finding, what did she do? So this is dependent clause. After dependent clause, always comma. Then independent clause. But if you are writing independent clause first and dependent clause next, comma is not required. But here comma is required. So remember, when you are writing a dependent clause and then independent clause in this manner, always comma after dependent clause. Second one, next one, yes. Fourth one now. Encloses non-restrictive clauses. Okay. Now let me make it simple. In your sentence, if you are writing some additional information about someone, for example here, Vijaya, our team captain, has lost her cap. Now my intention here is to say that Vijaya is there and she lost her cap. Okay. To say this one, I wrote the sentence and in between I wrote this one, Vijaya, our team captain. Okay. Now what if I remove this one? Will the meaning change? Will the intention of mine, which I wanted to say, change? No, it doesn't change. I still say that Vijay is there and she lost a cap. The meaning is still same. So when you have these kind of extra information, okay, then always put comma. Another example I'll say, the one in red, otherwise, the boy who is in red shirt is my brother. If I write this one, now I want to say that there is a boy there, he's my brother, but there are a number of boys there. I am identifying him as someone who is in red shirt. Okay. Now here mentioning that he is wearing red shirt is important. Who is wearing red shirt? Now this information is essential here. So when you have information like this, you should not put comma. When you have information which is not required, by removing it, the main intention of the sentence doesn't change. Then you put commas. Remember this one. The last rule before question tags. Vijaya lost her. I'm sorry. I changed the gender of Vijaya. Vijaya lost her cap. Didn't she? We have question tags like this. Even before question tags, always put comma. Okay. These are the rules of comma. I think you understood. If you didn't understand, go back, listen, come back. Okay, the next punctuation mark is colon. Okay, this is called as colon. Nice smiley one. Yes. Okay. Now introduce the list. Now when you introduce a list, before the first item, you need to put comma. You see, Vijaya played several sports. Okay, there are number of sports. Before starting, colon. Understood? Simple. Next one, separates independent clauses when second explains first. Now in the previous slide, when we were discussing the rules of comma, we discussed that two independent clauses are joined sometimes, a dependent are joined, independent are joined, there are several possibilities. And when you join two independent clauses, remember, when you join two independent clauses, if the second explains the first, then you should use colon. See, the election results were in, she had lost. Now, this second one is explaining the first one. So, here colon is used. Let me take you to semicolon now itself, because there also we have a case where two independent clauses are added. See, semicolon, see. Independent clauses without conjunctions. Okay. In comma you used. Okay. In comma, when you are joining two independent clauses, you use a conjunction, and before that conjunction you put comma. That we discussed. The same way here, when you are joining independent clauses, for colon, the second clause should be a explanation. But here, both are not related to each other. Now, there would be some relation, might be some relation, but not explanation. The second doesn't explain the first one. See this here? She refused to give up. One sentence. She had worked too hard. Now this is not explaining the first one. So here colon is used. Okay. If the second clause, if two independent clauses are being joined without any conjunction, if the second one is explaining the first one, use colon. If the second one is not explaining, then use semicolon. That's the only difference. Now we'll go back to colon. Yes. Yes. The clause before a colon must be complete. I discussed both should be independent clauses. Complete means independent clause. Fine. Semicolon. One rule we already discussed. Next one, separates a complex list. That means generally when we are writing a list of items, we separate them with comma. But if each list each item in itself has more than one item. Seems like I am teaching Python language now. Iteration. Sorry. Okay. Each item again has an item in it. For example, here in the sentence, the injured players are. That means they are talking about some players, more than one player who is injured. Okay. They are talking about Sumi. They are talking about Mallika. They are saying about Vijaya. But they also want to say who are those. Sumi is a lower striker. Mallika is midfielder. Vijaya is goalkeeper. Now when you are describing the designation, what you do, you generally put comma there. Sumi, comma. Mallika, comma. Vijaya, comma. Now you have a list. You have items. Each item in general should be separated with comma. But the item itself in it has a comma. Now how will you write? So, Sumi, comma, the lower striker. Here instead of comma, you put semicolon. You can use like this. I'll give one more example. I visited Brudeshwar. Good temple, you can visit. Then Tirupati. And then Charminar. If I want to say, I also want to say in which state they are. Brudeshwar is Karnataka. Tirupati is in AP. Charminar is in Telangana. Now generally, how we separate Tirupati, comma, AP we say. Charminar, comma, TG we say. But how to separate all these things? Here you can use semicolon. Brudeshwar, comma, Karnataka, semicolon. Tirupati, comma, AP, semicolon. Charminar, comma, TG, semicolon. If you have and something. Got it? So this is how you use semicolon. The last one, apostrophe. Okay. First one, you already know, indicates possession. Vijaya's cap. The cap belongs to Vijaya. Yes. CSK's cup. Right? The cup belongs to CSK. So CSK's cup. I'm talking about IPL 2025. Fine. Possession. Now, forms, contractions. Okay. Short forms. Yeah, I've been using this one. Now, instead of it is, you write it's with apostrophe. Instead of did not, didn't. Instead of you are, apostrophe, you are. Okay, you write like this. Now, one small correction. Now, while using this one, you cannot say the dog wagged its tail. When you're writing this, you cannot write it's with apostrophe because this means it is. That means you're saying the dog wags its tail. It's wrong. So, in those cases, when you're writing contractions to say possession, don't use apostrophe. Need not. Simply say the dog wagged its tail. Okay? The dog is unhappy because dog and tail you separated with this. Use this one, it will be happy. Okay? So this is about apostrophe. We finished all the sentence structure, punctuation rules of all the punctuations. Okay? Thank you. See you. Tata.